Hi guys, you're back with Brecken with In Spite and Because Of, and our first tip is going to come from my experience over the weekend. I seem to get lucky every time I go out of town by myself with my boys, in that the fact that one of them is going to be vomiting the entire way home on our car trip. It's happened on a 5-hour car trip, it's happened on a 2.5-hour car trip, it's happened on a 4-hour car trip. So all of those, I was lucky enough to have a vomiting child in the back of my car all the way home. So with that in mind of having a vomiting child, I thought about it. I was like, you know, I kind of feel like a little bit of an expert on what you should have in your car for in the case of an emergency, meaning a vomiting child. So here's your tip for what to pack for when you have a vomiting child and you have not planned or prepared for this. Meaning you're out of town, you don't have a way to just run home and take them inside and get them comfortable. You need to have everything with you at that moment when the crisis strikes. Okay, so my tip comes from this weekend. I had the pleasure of having my son started vomiting on Saturday night. We were at my sister's and started about 1 a.m. and it never stopped. So we left about 9:30 in the morning, and what normally is about a 2.5-ish hour car ride ended up taking us twice as long to get home, because every 20-30 minutes he would throw up again. I would stop, clean him up, we'd get back on the road. He would be throwing up while the car is moving and I have to pull over. We hit about almost every rest area. We hit side roads going off so that he could throw up, so I wasn't getting run over. I had to stop in the middle of a highway to let him throw up, and you need to be prepared for these situations. So if you have a car organizer, perfect, because you're going to want to pack it with some essentials, vomiting essentials. If you don't, you might want to get one. They're nice because you can pack a variety of items in there. A lot of the car organizers have pockets on the outside, so you can pack little things on the outside. They usually have 2 to 3 wide, so they're like a canvas type organizer, and so they're usually pretty, you know, a good depth, deep, and some can be really wide, some can be more narrow. They might have a narrow one in the middle and 2 big ones on the outside, but this is a perfect item to get to put in the back of your car or even in the middle of your car between your children. That way it's easy access when you need it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about that you need is you need to have 2 changes of clothes per kid. And you might say, that seems like a lot. No, it's not. You want to have 2 changes of clothes per kid, because if you're vomiting, if you have a child vomiting, and we all know children, when they don't feel well, they're going to try their best to make it into the bucket or the bag or whatever it is that you're going to have ready. But they're unhappy, they're not feeling well, they're trying their hardest, but the vomiting takes over and sometimes it just doesn't make it in the bowl. So you're going to have a car seat to clean up, you're going to have a seat to clean up, you might even have a floor to clean up, you might even have the back of the seat in front of them to clean up, and they will also have soiled their clothes with vomit. I know it doesn't sound very exciting to talk about, but it's just the truth of the matter. If you're mom, you know. So you need to start with 2 changes of clothes. The reason I say 2 is because you're probably going to need at least 2. Maybe you just went out of town for a few hours and you're going to come back. Maybe you just went up to a show and you're going to come back, and it might be a couple hours before you make it back. Like, that's the trip that you chose to take. So you didn't pack a bag. You didn't even think about having a bag packed. And so that's why I think it's essential that you need to have 2 changes of clothes in there per kid. And we all know as parents, we might go somewhere and they're going to get dirty and you didn't pack those extra clothes. So it's nice just to have them, even if it's not for the vomiting essentials. It's nice to just have those extra clothes in the car at all times. So you're going to start with your 2 changes of clothes. You are going to want a plastic bowl. The bowls that you get from either takeout food or even some of like the frozen meals have like those plastic bowls. Those are perfect containers to keep in the car for if and when your child or even you vomit. You want to have that at the ready. So I say 2 bowls. You never know. Maybe something happened and one of them breaks, or one of them, who knows. So it's always just nice to have at least 2. If you want to have more, go for it. I have, this last trip, I stole it from my sister, and I was like, why do I not have these essentials already in my car? So thankfully I have, after my 3rd experience, I decided, you know what? I think I should probably get my items ready and put in the back of my vehicle. So you're going to have your 2 changes of clothes. You're going to have your plastic bowl. I stole 2 for my sister. I stole a deep one and I stole a wide one. And I think for little kids, I think a wider one is better, just because it, you know, might be moving or whatever. And so I think a wide one is a good idea to have. But I took a deep one. You never know. So I took both. So I had 2 plastic bowls. And I was also at my sister's, and I didn't even think about needing extra wipes. I was like, you know, he hasn't thrown up, you know, for a while, so maybe it was just a 2-time thing. My son was sick a week ago, and he only threw up 3 times in the whole day. And so I thought, oh, we're probably fine. I don't know why I didn't even think about wipes. But we were actually out of wipes for my other son. I had, you know, maybe 5 wipes left. Do you think I had my hand sanitizer with me? No, I didn't. Do you think I had my extra, you know, hand cleaning cloths, or like the face wash for children? I always have them with me. For whatever reason, I didn't have them this round. So I didn't have anything to clean with. I didn't have any napkins. So we pull up, he throws up at the first stop. We weren't even gone 10 minutes, and he threw up. And luckily I was needing to stop to get gas at a gas station. So I ran in trying to find wipes, didn't find them. So I picked up a huge stack of napkins because I had no clue how many I was going to need. And the gentleman actually found the wipes for me. So I picked up 2 of those, and they were essential in getting us home clean. So they were perfect for cleaning off the straps of the car seat, for cleaning, you know, him off enough to where I could get him his clothes off. It was perfect to clean the floor. It was great to clean out the bowl. I would use the napkin to clean it out, and then I would take a wipe and clean that out and then reuse the bowl. So they were extremely handy in keeping us clean and on the road. So the other one I said was napkins. I felt like that was important. You know, they need to blow their nose. You just need extra napkins for if you ran out of wipes. I just felt like napkins were a good option to have, because I could clean the bowl and toss them out, and then use the wipe to just officially clean it out. So then the other thing that you want to have is a plastic sack to put your trash in, and a Walmart sack or Target sack, or any of those that have like the handles, because you want to tie it up. You don't want to get rid of it, because you're going to need to continue to accumulate your trash for your car ride home. So it's perfect to have it because you can tie it up, keep the smell down, open it when you need to, tie it back up when you're driving. It's important. If you want to throw it out every time, then I would suggest having quite a few plastic sacks in there. Your choice on whatever you prefer, but definitely have at least 1 plastic bag in your car. The other thing that I think is important to have is a towel. I think it was the first time my son threw up in the car, and this was coming home from my parents. I thought we were never going to get home. I believe it took us 3 more hours, and it's like I shouldn't say 5. It's anywhere between a 6 and 7 hour car trip, and it took us the entire day to get back, because he would continually vomit. And this is when he was 2, I think he was 2, 1.5, 2. He was turning around, so he was at least 2. But he was throwing up all over the place. It was all over him. It was all over the car seat. I mean, he didn't know how to hold a bowl at the time. The car stunk. It was atrocious. It was disgusting. And I thought, you know, it would have been nice to have had a towel. I mean, even just to sit down to put him in, or to put over top of the buckles and just kind of have it tucked in so that if he vomits, it throws up on the towel. So many ways you could use that towel, but I think it's very important to have to save either the floor or your the car seat or the seat or whatever. I kind of wish I would have had a towel that I could have put him in when it seeped down into the inside of the car seat. He managed to get only one time on himself, which I was very, very thankful for. But it did go down into the indentions of the car seat, and that would have been nice to have had a towel just laying across underneath him to where it just caught the throw up instead of it going down into where you can't get it out. That would have been nice. The other one that you want to have is hand sanitizer for your child, because they're not going to want to go in and wash their hands. You're not going to want to take them inside. You're going to be scared of them throwing up in the middle of the place. You might have more than one child. So for me, it was I had a infant and I had my son, and I couldn't carry both. And there was no way that my son was in walking condition. So the last thing that I wanted to do was to take and cart both inside and get the item. Hand sanitizer is nice. You can just throw on the hand sanitizer, clean, have them sanitize their hands, and then you're good to go. And what should you get the day of, or what should you hope that you can get the moment that your child starts vomiting? One is obviously fluids. It's important to replenish them. So when they're vomiting, they're losing all of the fluids and vitamins and sodium, all of those things that they really need in their bodies. So I grabbed my son a water bottle. It's one of the squeeze bottles. I thought, hey, this is going to be fun for him. So maybe he's going to like just squeezing it into his mouth as opposed to having just a regular cup or having to drink, just out of a bottle. I thought, hey, it's perfect because he can squeeze it. It might be fun. It's not going to get messy. And if it does, it's just water. So I got the water. And then the important thing to remember is to get clear Gatorade or Powerade. Do not get red or purple or blue, any of those lovely colors. You are not going to want to clean that up. The last thing, which I'm kind of starting into, is some essential oils. And I started finding that some actually have helped me with some things. I don't know why I sound so surprised. But I have started using them. And one thing that I found with Paxton that worked really well was peppermint. I was praying that I had packed my peppermint essential oil for my sister, for going down to my sister's, but I packed everything but peppermint because I didn't even think that we would need it. And it was the one thing I wish we had. And when we finally got home and applied it, he was in the middle of starting to throw up, and I applied peppermint oil with some coconut. I applied a drop of peppermint oil with a little bit of coconut oil, applied it to his belly, had him sniff it, and he immediately stopped. I thought it was amazing. I was so thankful for it. But I didn't have it on the car ride, and that would have saved a lot of headache. The items you want to have in your bag, you want to start with a car tote. And then in your car tote, you want to have 2 changes of clothes for each of your children. You want to have at least 2 plastic bowls. You want to have wipes at the ready, like face wipes or hand wipes that you can use on them. You want napkins, a lot of napkins. You want to have a plastic sack, at least 1, if not more, depending on your preference. A towel or more towels, but at least 1 towel. Hand sanitizer. Those are the items you already want to have at the ready in your car if this ever happened and you needed these items. What items you want to get the day of is you want to get water, you want to get clear Gatorade or Powerade, and you want to get an essential oil, your peppermint essential oil. Those are the items that you need to have if and when your child vomits and you're not at home. Thank you for watching my tips and tricks on what to have in your car. But yes, comment below. Let me know if you have any other tips or tricks, or how have you handled your situations where you've been out of town and your child has either gotten car sick or gotten a bug on your road trip and you have to take care of them and the car while you're traveling home. Make sure you let me know. I would love to hear them because believe me, I feel like I'm the queen of a vomiting child when we're out of town. And so any tips or tricks that you might have, let me know because I would love to be even more prepared the next time that we're out and about with one of my boys vomiting. Come back for more tips and tricks with Trish and I with our new mom series we're going to be starting. Thank you for watching Brecken with In Spite of and Because of. Bye!